Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof. Woof, right on schedule there, Wolfie. Let us break out of this incredibly symmetrical hidey hole from the last episode. Jeez, look at this thing. It's like, it's meant to be. It is meant to be like this, and we are going to leave it like this as we do, because we have yet another episode of Farlands or Bust to get on with. Get on with it! It is episode 416, and that way is west, so that is the way we will be traveling. It is Friday, October 10th, 2014. Where does the time go? I don't know, but I need more of it, please. Just a little bit more. Maybe an extra week in October would be most welcome. Please. I'm desperate. I beg of you. Please, the constant march of time. Give me a break. Give me a week. Give me a week, will ya? But regardless, Friday, October 10th, episode 416 of Farlands or Bust. Whoa, and I missed that jump. We are continuing to walk to the Farlands. I kind of had a miniature panic attack there. I thought I had forgot to press the record button, but apparently we are recording. Careful, Wolfie. Careful, Wolfie. We are recording here, and yeah, continuing on. We're still continuing to raise money for Child's Play charity as well at farlandsorbust.com. $13,309 we are now at, and 19 cents. There's 19 cents at the end of that. Right before recording this episode, I checked, and that's where we're at, having raised this season, Season 5 of Farlands or Bust. I kind of feel I don't have, like, I should wait until I, like, make up my specific mind about this, but I kind of feel like adding a goal to the charity widget thing to kind of, that does tend to spur additional enthusiasm for donating, but, you know, I feel like it's been a while without a goal, and I know my plans have kind of shifted focus here. I was otherwise talking in the beginning of this season about adding additional charities, but I simply haven't had the ability to do that quite yet, and now my abilities to do don't run into the land there and break your boat, Kurt. And now my abilities are even less able to launch additional things like that. So maybe I'm thinking of adding. Ooh, look at that! Oh, hey, whoa, that's pretty cool. It actually goes through. Wait, let's line this stuff up. It goes through twice. It goes through two mountains there. Through the looking glass. You look through there, and it leads the way to the tomb of something or other, that the Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones. He's not a person, he's like a corporation. The Indiana Jones, to uncover some sort of secret thing. Oh, it does lead to something. Hello? Wow, if that points directly at a zombie spawner, that would be a thing and a half. No, I don't think it does. Well, you know, our new rule, I guess. I don't know why I couldn't think of that word. Our new rule is not to try to find spawners unless they are on the surface and visible. So we're gonna have to let that one go. I don't know about you, but sorry, this song that's playing in the background, I don't know what it's specifically called by C418 in Minecraft here. This song is very nostalgic for me. I can't. It's probable that it like was playing when I was first playing Minecraft. I think it was also playing when in X's Adventures in Minecraft, like in one of his very first early episodes, and it is incredibly nostalgic. It's one of these songs that just are really slow, and you know, once you kind of settle down from surviving your first night, maybe, or maybe at like the first sunset, where you're really your whiskers are twitching in anticipation of your first nighttime in Minecraft ever. This song, it brings back so many emotions. Sorry, I don't know, I got that This song plays all the time too, but it just kind of brought back some memories for some reason. But anyway, wow, I might have to get myself checked out for ADD or something, because I was talking about the charity. Thinking of maybe adding a goal for the charity, perhaps before, well, soon, maybe before the end of the year. Not for like, oh, we have to reach this by the end of the year, but you know, before the end of the year, I'll add a goal, and that will set us on a path for around next March for the next Flobathon. That sounds like a good idea to me, if you ask me, and nobody did, but I'm telling you. So deal with it. But yeah, we're still, regardless, we're still raising very consistent and a good amount of money for Child's Play charity. We're up like another $100 since 2 days ago, so I do appreciate the continued support, the continued donations, the continued charitable giving by all the Farlanders out there. Hey, Wolfie, your tail is slightly down, so let's lift down up, get you some health, which you will immediately lose, probably. But yeah, continuing on here. Continuing on. I mentioned, I talked about previously the NASA socials, how the one for the Orion launch at Kennedy Space Center is currently open for registration, and before that I mentioned one at Virginia Wallops Flight Facility for the Antares launch, the other private company who launches resupply ships to the International Space Station launches out of there, and there's another NASA social for that. And our friend Great Scott LP has actually just announced that he will be attending such things as these. It is due to launch on October 24th. So you remember Great Scott, he's done a few things with us with Minecraft minigames, and he's friends and part of the MC Gamers crew, I guess. I don't know. But does a lot of stuff with that. So I suppose if you want to kind of get an up-close perspective, I'm not sure how much he's planning on sharing on the YouTubes with that, but certainly I assume on his Twitter and whatever. Go follow Great Scott LP. And you'll see what that kind of NASA tweet-up social experience is all about. And I'm still... It's unlikely. I will say it's unlikely for myself to sign up for that one in December. But it's so tempting. So very tempting. It's like, ooh, a giant, huge rocket launch. I mean, kind of regardless of whether or not it's the first launch of the Orion capsule, I'm honestly, my personal thoughts are a little bit indifferent towards the Orion program, the SLS program, as to whether or not it's kind of a useful project for NASA to be working on. Careful, Wolfie, careful, Wolfie. You know, it's kind of been dubbed by critics the rocket to nowhere. It's kind of, ooh, we're building this rocket that's going to be more powerful than a Saturn V ever was, and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, okay, what are you going to do with it? Well, we don't have a specific mission quite yet. And, you know, we could go to an asteroid and do the whole asteroid redirect thing. We could use the same technology to go to Mars. We could, you know, take it to... Careful, Wolfie, I just saw him take damage up there. We could do this, that, or the other. We really don't want to go back to the moon, but we could with this tech. You know, it's kind of... As opposed to the Saturn V, the goal was we need to land on Mars and return safely to Earth. We had that mission, so we built the Saturn V around that idea. After the fact, we kind of retrofitted it to try the space lab or space station type stuff for a little bit before we switched to the space shuttle. But yeah, I personally have a little bit of, I'm like, yeah, I have you know, I'm excited, and certainly it's good to be pushing the boundaries for NASA and exploration and whatnot, but I'm kind of, seems, I don't know, maybe it seems a little bit like a, anyway, so yeah, the Orion capsule part of that social is not necessarily what draws me to it. It's the giant rocket launch that draws me to that one. And plus, the NASA socials at Kennedy Space Center are pretty awesome because you get behind-the-scenes tours of the VAB and, the whole... Kennedy Space Center is a pretty awesome place anyway. But anyway, I digress, and the sun sets, and I'm all out of water. I should replenish my buckets of water in the next day here, but we're going to take a sleep, and we're going to get back to questions that we got from donors to Child's Play Charity, from patrons over at Patreon, and I still have some left over from Twitter when I asked before the last episode, so let's go to sleep and continue in the morning. And I think I swallowed a bit of dust there or something. Woo, I'm all right. We can continue on. Wait, where's my compass? Yep, continue west. Continue west. How are we? Yep, that's what I thought. I need some additional resources here, some wood planks. But we did get another donation from Zach. At the beginning of the last episode, I mentioned how Zach gave a very generous donation, but didn't really leave a question, which is all right. You don't need to. But so Zach came back with yet another donation and said, all right, here are some questions for you. So thank you once again for your extended generosity, Zach. But question is, he wanted to know about what my backup process is. He's very concerned about me losing the Far Lands or Bust world and perhaps my videos, but I've mentioned a few times before that I have localized backups. My PC is actually... I have no more space for any more hard drives. So I have 4 disk drives and then 2 solid-state drives. The solid-state drives are for... one is for my operating system, and the other is where I install all my Vigigames. The 4 hard drives, one of them is a faster disk drive that I record to. It's a terabyte drive. And then the other one holds video work. All my video archives are there. That takes up a lot of space, and I'm running out of space for holding video archives. I'm probably gonna have to go back, and I'll stuff is up on YouTube. That's really only in the case if something detrimental would happen to my YouTube channel and I would have to re-upload videos. I should probably go back and pick and choose about which videos. It's like, all right, if I lose this video on YouTube, it's really not that big a deal. I could save some gigabytes and perhaps a terabyte here and there if I went through and did that, but it's so much work. What else? So yeah, I've got that, but then locally, as in my home, I have a network storage. Whoa, watch your step. I have network storage that is 6 terabytes. It's 2 3-terabyte drives. I decided to go that route. I used to do the external USB drive, but those kept failing on me, so I went a network server storage. I'm not going to boat on a bed. I do that all the time, don't I? And I do nightly backups there, and included in that is, of course, the folder with the Far Lands of Bust World. Also, before I record every episode, I make a backup for my own uses, just in case. I make a personal copy and paste backup of the Far Lands of Bust World. Don't go over there, Wolfie. Good lord, that is definitely a lava island. This island is being generated. New land before our very eyes, like Hawaii. So I got that going on. Plus, I do subscribe to a nightly off-site backup service where I believe I've got about 6 or 7 terabytes of obviously all my videos, Far Lands or Bust World, and as we learned in the past, when I lost my Kerbal Space Program save, a lot of my game saves go back up there. A lot of my personal documents, my working files for editing, Photoshop files, my website files, Photoshop. I already said Photoshop, the arrangements like that. Thumbnails. Gosh, I have backups of all my thumbnails too, because I don't know why I keep those. They don't take up that much space, but I have over 3.5 years of YouTube thumbnails backed up just in case I ever need to go back and re-upload a video. I'll still have the thumbnail. But I spend a lot of time making thumbnails, so that's probably a good use of my backup storage facility services. So yeah, I have multiple fail-safes, hopefully, redundancy, if you will. And so the Farlands or Bust world, it also exists every once in a while. I back it up onto a thumb drive to kind of have somewhere else safe. Ooh, look at this. It's a little platform over here with a tree. That's interesting. So yeah, the Farlands or Bust world itself is safe. I also have a complete backup of the Minecraft Beta 1.7.3 installation that I had before I started using, or was forced to start using the current launcher. So I have the old launcher backup because people were concerned that eventually maybe this version of the game would stop running on the current launcher. So I have the old launcher backed up, and everything is pretty secure. I feel I haven't had any major failures to have tested that, but I've spared no expense in making sure. You know, I've had many. Oh God! Ow! Careful, Wolfie! Careful! Oh, sure, you're careful, but I twisted an ankle there. So yeah, I've in the past had a few times where I've lost hard drives or data, and I've certainly had many a family member lose a hard drive, a computer, whatever, or to an accident, lost data. So I personally am incredibly thorough with my backups, and it is, you know, it's one of those things that, you know, as far as consumer computing is concerned, like you go to Best Buy and purchase a computer, they really never, it's really never informed of a consumer, you know, your basic non-techie consumer to back up your data. You know, they give you a computer, it has a 500 or 1 terabyte hard drive, and you're like, ooh, that can hold all of my personal family photos and movies and this and that or whatever, but they don't really let you know that you should probably also have a redundant backup of that as well. And then when things go sour is when people get very, very angry and then have a very bad day. So yeah, always, I would highly recommend, even above and beyond having a local backup, I would actually probably recommend first and foremost to use an off-site backup service like CrashPlan or something like that. That, you know, you can set up to have nightly backups. That way you don't have to worry about having, you know, buying a secondary hard drive, an extra USB hard drive or anything like that. So highly recommended. Certainly it's like an insurance policy for your bits and your bytes and your datas. I went on for way too long about that, did I not? Zach, with his second donation, goes on to ask, what is your favorite quote? Or do you have a favorite quote? And why is it your favorite? I mean, there's a lot of, like, nifty quotes. Careful. Oh, gosh, you hurt yourself by falling down a little tube there. A tube! Watch out for the tubes, Wolfie. I don't really have a favorite quote. I mean, there's like various quotes and things that come up from time to time. There's that whole Carl Sagan sequence of Pale Blue Dot that talks about blah blah blah. This is our home, and you know, think of every person you know and blah 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 who has ever existed lives on this speck of dust suspended in a sunbeam, you know, that sort of thing is always interesting. I mean, there's some cool, like, music lyrics or, you know, poetry, different poetry or certain sort of literature kind of quotes, but I really can't think, you know, I don't go around spouting quotes or engraving quotes on my walls or inspirational posters or tattoos or anything with special quotes on them. So yeah, I appreciate that question, and thank you for coming back to ask it, but maybe I should have, like, searched ahead of time and been prepared. I am a terrible, terrible broadcaster here. Who is your favorite person in history and why? Zach always asks this question. No, Zach asks, again, with the favorites. It's hard to find favorites. Said Carl Sagan. I do like, you know, Neil Armstrong, obviously. First person on the moon. partly, you know, that's obviously a huge achievement and whatnot, but also because it seems like he was the most fitting choice in that he kept quiet about it and was really a lot more reserved about that status, his status as the first alien, I suppose you could say, the first, you know, a huge milestone. It's like being called, you know, you are the ancestor who descended from the trees in the African Sahara, who eventually led to you know, humans walking upright and etc. etc. You know, it's kind of one of those very specific milestones in human evolution and history, and he, you know, he could have gone all celebrity with it, and certainly maybe there are people who wish he had. You know, and you know, kind of let it go into his head, but he was quite the opposite of that, and just kind of wanted to live a normal life, and really never did any interviews, and was really quite humble about the whole thing. And you know, after the fact, after he retired from NASA, he ended up, you know, teaching. And you know, I'm sure for the students, it would have been one heck of a thing. The first man to walk on the moon is my teacher teaching me, you know, engineering, aerospace engineering here. It's kind of crazy, but, you know, he just saw himself as a professor, you know, no different than any other. So yeah, you know, I feel like as far as like the right person for the job, he was certainly the right person for the job there. As far as a person from history, I mean, also the fact that he retired from the Navy before the moon mission, so that when he stepped on the moon, he would not be a military man, he would be a civilian. You know, that was a pretty conscious decision that I think probably goes unnoticed in the history books a lot of times. So yeah, the first, even though by it was certainly a military operation, it was certainly up and against the Soviet, the Cold War situation, he made a point to say that, you know, the first boots on the moon were civilian. Let's go to sleep. And awakeness. Indeed, Wolfie. Pant. So yeah, let's continue on. Thank you, Zach, once again for your generous donations to Child's Play charity, helping get toys, books, and games to kids in hospitals around the world. And everybody else who continues donating. Let's see here. We've got one of these questions left over from Twitter here. What's the public transport like in America? Have there been any improvements? Do you use public transportation anywhere else in the world? We're down here now. We're down here. Ooh, and there's some free arrows. Thanks, guys. I don't know. I don't use it that often. It's not as you would assume or as you would compare to European or Asian countries, simply because we are far more spread out here. It's in the cities. It's certainly a far greater resource with the trains and the L and the subways and the buses and cabs and things like that. But I don't really ever use it. You know, one of the things I notice about Washington, D.C. is that their metro system is quite convenient and actually well laid out, and actually for someone who doesn't use public transportation that often, it would be very easy for me to get very flustered and confused about times and routes and lines and things like that. Like, I don't have any desire ever to go to New York and have to use their public transportation system. Even the Chicago one, the bus, get on the bus on this side of the road, it goes somewhere, then the same number bus on the other side of the road, and I know that's how public transportation works, but I get anxious. It makes me nervous. You're making me like good when you think about the public transportation. I prefer, much myself, and despite the fact that it is far more harmful to the environment, I prefer to drive myself to places. That is much preferable in my Wolfie, in my current way that I do things. Let's take a branch here. Yoink. Boop, 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 boop. So yeah, I can't say I would be comfortable commenting on it because I don't really have the need, nor do I have the want to use it that often. So yeah, I mean, even I know it lags far behind as far as long distance public transportation. Like there's no high-speed rail like you can travel from you know, through Europe through the high-speed trains from I don't know where, from Germany to Paris to under the channel thing to England and stuff. England, is that what you guys call it? It's probably like not the UK. How about that? So yeah, we lack any sort of long distance public transportation system that is reliable or affordable or usable. So that's why we're kind of quite dependent on flight. I don't even know if that's really what you know, are airlines considered public transportation? Probably not. It's far more expensive and exclusive, and there's a lot more stress and time involved than one would associate, and at least I would associate, with a convenient public transportation system. We've got public transportation here in Farlands or Bust. It's called a boat. We just press W and we just mosey on. We mosey on as we do. We can go backwards too. Watch where we came from. It's great. Great news. Of course, Wolfie sometimes spawns in our way. There he is. Alright, we're fine. So yeah, I haven't used it much elsewhere. I mean, other than, like I said, Washington, D.C., otherwise, like, vacations I go on, I actually will just rent a car and drive places, and that is far preferable and gives far more flexibility, in my personal opinion. But Portland had a good place I stayed at. Actually gave when I stayed in Portland proper, actually gave a free pass on their light rail. Light rail is kind of thing that's starting to become more up and coming in modern-ish cities of the United States. They gave what are those things called? Tickets, passes, whatever, to the light rail system, and despite at one point taking the wrong line, once again getting too confused, there were two different lines that used the same line at some point in Portland, and I got on the wrong one and ended up going in the wrong direction, and I'm like, oh no, this is not where I want to be going at all. Got off and was able to figure out and travel back in the correct direction and get back to my hotel properly. So that was a little bit worrying, and in a city like Chicago, if you end up going the wrong way, you could end up in the wrong neighborhood, and that would be a far more disastrous situation to be in than actually in Portland. It was like, all right, okay, just jump off here and wait for the correctly colored train, light rail, electric thing to come by, and then hop on that, and you'll end up in the right way. So yeah, I've had a lot of negative experiences with public transportation, particularly in Chicago. So I'm not a huge fan. Whoa, careful, Wolfie. I'm not a fan. Oh, Wolfie, what do you? Okay, I guess he wants me to go this way. I guess I'll go this way. You noodle. What else do we got here? Here we go. Here's a question actually from YouTube. The last YouTube video, episode 415, Laura asked, when... Oh, careful, Luffy. Okay, there he is. When was the last time you had to record while feeling not at your best? I asked because recently I've been unable to communicate effectively, and I was wondering, how do you, as YouTubers, overcome this, particularly when producing very frequent and up-to-date content? It's kind of a little bit more of a motivator if it's your source of income, I suppose. I definitely, if there's a case where I am ill or sick or actually physically incapable of making good content, that is when I will take a break. And that is like in the past where I've mentioned that I've had to redo an episode of Farlands or Bust. That one episode that led to the hidey hole paradox actually was because I was sick, and then I listened back to it. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. I'm just gonna wait a day and redo it. The day passed, and I forgot what I had done, and I rebooted the the backup, my very thorough backups of Far Lands of Bust incorrectly, and we had the hidey hole paradox. So yeah, there are certainly cases where I'll be like, all right, I'm just physically incapable of doing this, so we'll hold off on it. Other times you do kind of, it's hard for me to stick to his schedule, because if I just said day in and day out, okay, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 10 a.m. on the dot, I have to record Far Lands of Bust, I might not be feeling it, or something might be happening to distract me. So I do have a little bit of variability on my recording times to wait for like a prime time where I'm like, yes, I'm feeling it. I'm really feeling it, Milby, MC Gamer. That's a joke from another series. So yeah, I do sometimes, and perhaps maybe that's why I'm not as consistent as others may be. Ooh, that was a chain reaction. Oh, it continues. Oh, it's out. Oh, look at this. We can make an entire island fall. Let's do it. Oh, careful, Wolfie. This feels like this is gonna fall. All right, yeah. Whoop, up. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat. Thank you. Yeah, let's do this. This is gonna be fun. It's gonna be a good time. Whoa! I force you to have a good time. Watch it. Wee. Yeah, sort of. I kind of wanted that to go too. Huh. Can I reach it? Ah, come on. All right, let's try this. We're getting crazy dangerous here. Huh. All right. Woof. Just grabbing my... can't barely reach. All right, here we go. Yay, that's what I wanted. Oh. The game is angry for me doing that. Let's get out of here. Spooky noises. That was weird. I do not like that at all. Oh, man. All right. That was weird. Continuing on here. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it is partial, just kind of saying you have to do this. So kind of get yourself in a good mood by whatever means necessary, and record. Maybe, I don't know, listen to some like fast-paced pump-up music, pump up the jams, as it were, or watch like a comedian or something funny that will make you kind of at least get the smiley face on your face. On your face, and get yourself ready to record, or you could probably tell that's one of the things is you could probably, oh hi Wolfie, you could probably tell a lot more than you realize, or I realize. Fans can probably tell the slight variations in mood or topics or just voice inflection or whatever, and I get that sometimes. I'll see on comments, "Ooh, you sound really happy today," or something like that. And okay, maybe I do. Maybe I had more energy. Maybe something XYZ was on my mind at this time. And okay, let's go to sleep. Let's just dig in. Hi Wolfie, have a seat. I just saw the creeper spawn over there, and I'm scared. I'm frightened. Must go faster. I hear feet steps. Okay, we're safe. Good lord. Kurt, you're getting distracted. So yeah, it's certainly, as I'm sure all broadcasters, entertainers, I really hesitate to call myself or put myself in the category of an entertainer. Entertainer? Is that the word? That word starts to sound funny the more you say it. Entertainer. I'm sure everybody deals with that sort of thing, and they gotta kind of pump themselves up. Was I walking the right way? Yeah, I was. I just dug into the side here because I panicked and freaked out. So yeah, I don't have any particular tips or tricks or things like that, but yeah, it works out all right. But I'm far more of someone who won't force myself to record or make content if I know that the end product will be affected by it. I have high, strict quality standards. I am verified by USP, a independent vitamin verification Has anybody seen those commercials that are very awkward for the vitamins, at least in the United States? Anyway, I digress, and I end the episode as well. That's what I do. Episode 416 of Farlands or Bust. Thank you very much for watching. Keep going to farlandsorbust.com to keep donating. Be like Zach. Donate multiple times and ask multiple questions. Farlandsorbust.com. Donate to Child's Play charity. I appreciate the continued support. Yeah, like I said, I'll at some point here soon maybe add a goal here that we can reach to unlock the next Flobathon. Hopefully by the next March anniversary date of starting Farlands or Bust. And I do appreciate everybody following along here. Everybody have a good weekend. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Pants. Pants. Pants.